Hello, guys, and welcome to our second session for tonight. So we'll just wait for a few more guys to join us, and then we will start with UX fundamentals with Raine Liao. Okay, and just a reminder, you can use the comment section to send in your questions, and we will try to answer all of them by the end of the session. So see you in a bit. Okay, so let's start. Hello, guys, and good evening to everyone. And thank you again for tuning in to Tech PH's online Saturday sessions on design and development. I'm Luis Barring, your host. And today we are joined by Raine Liao. Raine Liao is a UX researcher, and she will talk about the fundamentals or UX fundamentals. This will be our introduction for our upcoming further into design online Saturday sessions this June. So again, just a reminder, you can use the comment section to send in your questions. And don't forget to register to the link in the video description to also get the session app. And just a reminder on our upcoming shows, we will have Introduction to PWA next Saturday. This is with Andre de Guzman and Developing for Android and iOS with Flutter with Joshua de Guzman. And this Wednesday, we will have our first ever Wednesday workshop on paginated reports with Power BI. So that is a free workshop and that will start at 7 p.m. We will try to cover most of the items around paginated reports. It's for 4 hours, so you'll have to make time for that as well. Again, that's totally for free. So please continue to visit our page to register for these events. And additionally, for those who are interested to learn about Salesforce, we have Fundamentals of Salesforce for Software Developers. It's a free 4-hour course this June and limited slots only. Kindly scan the QR code that you're seeing on your screen, or you can also follow the link that I will be leaving in the comment section. And additionally, we will also have Introduction to Design Thinking. It's an online course, self-paced. Just simply scan the QR code on your screen, or you can also follow the link that I will also leave in the comment section. And for those who are looking for an opportunity as an Android developer, we have one in recruitday.com. You can just scan the QR code and you can also refer your friends and get exciting rewards. Okay, so yeah, tonight we have Raine. Hi, Raine.
Hello.
Yeah, how
Hi.
are you, Raine?
I'm good.
Okay.
Despite what's happening around the world and in the Philippines. So yeah.
Yeah, it's getting more stressful now every
Yeah.
day.
Yep.
Yeah, all the things that they're seeing on the news and on social media as well.
Mhm.
It's really getting bad, but I think we can survive this. Um,
Yeah.
and uh,
Hopefully.
and thank you so much for taking the time to share your knowledge and experience on UX.
Yeah.
So we will learn more about the fundamentals of UX tonight, and hopefully that will guide us through our following sessions this July, which is in further into design, and we will talk about tools, different skills that you need to have to be a successful UX practitioner, not only here in the Philippines but also abroad. Okay, so the floor is yours, Rain.
All right. So I'll start sharing my screen.
Okay.
Can you guys see it?
Yeah, good. I can showing now.
Yeah. Yeah. So is it shared right now? Oh, there's a bit delay. Okay. All right. All right. So hi everyone. Good evening. I hope you are safe and healthy. This night we'll be talking about user experience fundamentals. So before I start, I just wanted to let you know that if possible, I'll be asking you to answer a short survey at the end. So we'll be sharing the link to that later, so that I could improve on the talk or get your feedback or comments, and if you have any suggestions. All right, so let's start. So we'll be talking about user experience or UX. So hello, this is me. So I'm working as a UX researcher right now, and I used to work at Home Credit on Off Group and Cambridge University Press. And so these are just some of the information about me. And I have here a link to our organization, User Experience Philippines. So you can check our website and our Facebook group. You can join User Experience Philippines Facebook, even if you are not a designer. So we welcome um, everybody actually. So feel free to join that. And so these are also some of the courses that I took at Nelson Norman. Right. So enough about me. So these are just some of the conferences that I've attended. So as for my journey, it really helped me grow as a designer by attending these different conferences, starting with UX Manila way back in 2015, headed by Phil Smithson. So, and I remember that's Donna Spencer and Matthew as our main speakers. Then the next one, the UXHK headed by Daniel Zook and Jo Wong, sorry. So, and then these are the other people that I've met along the way. We have Cara Pernice there, and then the first workshop that I did for UXPH. All right, so I've divided the talk into three sections. So the first one is more of like introduction to user experience. Second, we'll be talking about the process. And then third is just more of conclusions. And I'd like to hear your questions or comments so that it'll be more of a discussion. Hopefully, you will uh, have questions after this talk. And then, so let's start. If you can comment na lang siguro, no? What do you think about these objects? How can I see your answers? Sorry, Luis. Is this possible? Can we get some feedback from the audience?
We can also get your interactions with the session
Mhm.
by leaving a comment. So I think we'll give away some exciting prizes as well for those who. So we have one comment here.
Mhm.
Yeah. So let's wait for a few more. Okay. So Adam Martin De Leon.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Hi,
you can see it
Adam.
on.
Uh, can I
Can you
see
see
it?
it? Yeah, you
No.
can see it on Streamyard. Yeah.
Is it on the Facebook or do I have to minimize my screen?
So it says Adam Martin De Leon says useless with a question mark.
Right. Okay. So,
And we also have here from Roy Vincent Placente. I think he agrees with Adam. Yeah, he's saying, yeah, it's useless. And Pauline Grace, watching us from YouTube, is more positive about it, and she's saying that it's unusual.
unusual. Okay.
Yeah,
Any other comments, guys, based on these objects?
yeah, they look very interesting now.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So if I try to minimize my screen, you can see my notes. Yeah. So I'm relying on my phone to see like feedback. We have your unusual. Yeah, I can see it now. Pauline
Yeah.
Grace. Thank you. So thanks everyone for your comments. So this is the uncomfortable. This is called the uncomfortable. So it created by Catalina Camprani. So she is also a designer, and illustrator, and basically she created this to annoy people and also to um, to encourage people to notice the simple things that surrounded us on how we use this object. So imagine how difficult our life would be if the spoon is designed this way or the key is designed that way, even the glasses. So yeah, so what am I trying to come up with by asking this? So it's basically we would like to talk about design. So design is about helping people reach their goal efficiently or effectively. And as Steve Jobs said, this is design is how it works, and it is how we want people to use our product, or it's the rendering of the intent. So that's a definition of design, so that we can, there's like a broad definition around design. There's other um, areas under design. You have interior design or whatnot, but in terms of general idea, it's basically solving a problem. It's helping people reach their goal. So okay, so that's a definition of design. Let's go into the UX history a bit. So it started, so way back, ever since UX is also is already existing. It's just that the coin, the term UX was coined by Don Norman late 1990s, I think. So just to give you just to give you a bit of a history, so it started with the machine taylorism, and then where Toyota created the system where they produced more cars, and then cognitive science, human computer interaction came also, and the birth of personal computing. And it is where Don Norman coined the term user experience, and then the birth of the web as well, and the transition from desktop to the mobile devices that we use now. So you can see more from the link at the bottom right. So let's define user experience. UX, or user experience. For me, basically, there's a lot of definitions for user experience. But this is what I got from the web as well. And like for me, I would define user experience as caring for other people. And it is also the interaction between a person and a product or a service. So that is user experience. But when you add design, when you combine user experience and design, it becomes user experience design, wherein it's already a process. It's a process of enhancing satisfaction or an accessibility or usability of a certain product or a service. So that it's clear. So we've defined design, we've defined user experience, and when combined user experience design, it's enhancing the satisfaction of the customer. All right. So is everybody okay so far? Is it clear? Just like, so that I know that um, we're good.
Yeah, I think at any point,
Mhm.
if you have any clarifications on the things that are being discussed, you can just leave a comment, and I think
Yes.
Rain can also expound on the items that you'd like clarifications on. Yeah.
Yep. All right.
Okay.
So we'll proceed to the next one. So common terms in the world of UX is the customer experience. So originally, Don Norman defined user experience like a total experience. Um, but then, you know, as time progresses, people use the term CX, or customer experience. So the tendency is for other organizations or other people try to differentiate the two, but basically it's the same. It's about experience. It's really more of how, in terms of their interaction journey or relationship level. So I've added the link as well there, where Nelson Norman expounded more on the difference of UX and CX. So you can just check that later then. So in terms of user experience, it's some people would define it in a particular product, and then customer experience, like the overall, including the customer service, the operations or the loyalty, so things like that. um, Here I have just a sample illustration on how people view this now, but depending on the organization, so you just have to also align with them on how they use UX and CX. All right, so let's go to the next. Um, So I have here, these are just the common terms, again, in the world of UX. So we have UI, UX, and usability. What are the differences? So this is just to give you a quick illustration of what user interface is, UX, and usability is. So UI, it's really more of the user interface. When I say user interface, it's the colors, the logos, the illustrations, any icons that you see on how it was presented to you visually. And then we have the UX, your experience with the product. Is it does it taste good? Is it sweet? Is it sour? You know, and then you have the usability on how you were able to get that experience. Was it easy to use? Do you need to get training before you can use it? So that's usability. But of course, there's like a totally different talk so that we can expand further onto these three topics. But for now, just to really give you an idea of what the differences are between the three. Okay. Um, Feel free to just comment or like, um, send your comments so that I know that we're good so far. All right, so let's go to the next one. We have good user experience. So of course, if we have good user experience, we have bad UX. Um, so when we say good, it is the interaction between the person and the system is easy. It is productive, enjoyable, engaging, and satisfying. So we have here two icons now. So we have the icon, the emoji icon with the heart. So if they have a good experience with your product, they would recommend it to your friends, or they become loyal customers. And on the other way around, if they have a bad experience, they would also tell their friends, and they would post in Facebook or complain. So, so it's really important that we try to create or design a good experience, especially with our products or services. Okay, so next, is it showing? There's a bit delay. So this stage, I'd like to get your, I'd like to just encourage everyone to sketch ideas. So I'll give you time. You can also sketch in your mind, or you can just design by writing in the comments. So I have three exercises here. Um, just feel free to comment, no? And then if you can, get the paper and a pen and try to solve this problem. So I have here three challenges. These are just simple. So what do you think about this one? Any comments so far? Any
I think,
observations?
yeah, we have one from Jem Makabanti. He
Mhm.
saying that it's confusing.
Right. How is it confusing? So for example, you're in the emergency room or you're in the hospital, 'di ba? So how will you be able to get to that 101 room? Is it on the right or on the left? So it's confusing. So thank you, Je. So the challenge is, how will you now sketch this so that it's not confusing for people? Yes, thank you, Sherry. So
Yeah, so
how would you correct this? You can also just put in the comment or take a picture of your idea or your concept. I'll give you a few minutes on how you can solve it. Just one person to comment on an idea on how this can be solved.
yeah, I think I can
Yes.
imagine how this can be very confusing for someone who's not working in that space. So if this were assigned in a hospital,
Yes.
and yeah, I were to be someone who's not really familiar with the space, then my mind won't process this well. Well, my mind will process correctly, but not how it was intended, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So according to Roy Vincent Where's that? Roy Vincent says, ilagay na lang yung arrow kasama ng rooms.
Okay, yep, that's another way of correcting this one. So instead of separating the arrow from the rooms, you can just put them together in one box, right? So that it will not be confusing now for the audience.
Yeah, and I
Okay.
think Pauline also is suggesting that I think the texts should be on the same box as the arrow. I think there's
Mhm.
a meme for this. Like, yeah, when texts are a bit confusing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
uh,
Yep. So thank you. Also, Je, put a space between the first row and the second row. Yep.
mhm.
So I have your possible solution. So there are many ways of solving this problem. So this is just one way, like the other suggestions that we received. So I added here a braille. So in case, so that's the accessibility part of the experience. Because what if there are blind people? So um, that should also be embossed if they have to put it so that they can people can touch it. Otherwise, it will be useless then if they can't read it, 'di ba? So, yeah, combining lang yung arrow with the room and with the direction so that people will not get lost. Okay? Yep. Thank you, Celeste. That's a good, very quick illustration. And then, yep. All right. So, are you ready for the next challenge? So, the next challenge is this one. So, sketch ideas to solve the design problem below. Okay. So, we have the pull and then the push. So, how would you now um, solve this? So, I'll just give you a few minutes. So, the tendency here is for people um, to not make mistake. All right, so we have vertical bars for pull action and horizontal for push. All right, yes, that's right. So I can show you the answer here. So before I show you the answer pala, I just want to discuss on the affordance and the signifier. So affordance, it is the tendency of how you're going to use the object. So when you see a chair, the tendency for us is to sit on it, right? So when we see a door, it's either a pull or a push. And we have here also as the handle, as the signifier. So it helps us, it tells us what can we do with this object. So these are cues or signs indicating what you can do with it. All right. So this is the answer to the exercise. So we have here, just put a handle if it is a pull, and then don't put a handle if it's a push. All right, so this is called the Norman door. You can search this on the internet as well or on YouTube. I think Don Norman discussed about this. He has a video about this separately, so you can just check it out then. All right, so let's go to the last exercise. That's it. It's going to be a bit difficult since it's the last, but I think you're up for it naman. So it's feel free to come up with ideas. All right. So we have here different parking signs, and there are different details on the parking signs. So the first one, 1 hour parking from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m., 8:30, and then we have the day pa. Then the next, 1 hour parking for 4 p.m. to 8 p.m., Monday to Friday. So if you're a driver and you need to park right away, it will be hard for you to know whether can I park or not, 'di ba? So any ideas on how you can solve this one? Just feel free to comment any suggestion. I think this is a bit difficult, so if it's too hard, then we can proceed with the answers.
Yeah, let's wait for a few guys because I think some of the guys will have an experience about regarding this kind of
Mm.
signages.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen this. I think something like this on
Mm.
in Makati, where
Mm.
it gets too confusing. What time you can park? How many hours can you park? For what amount?
Yep.
Okay, so we have here from Jay again.
Mm.
Jay says cluster date and time.
Yep. That would also be good.
Mhm.
Para you can see right away what they, siguro naman, you know what they, um, yung kung kailan ka magpa-park on that time. So, I think that will also be good. So, you already know that. Is it, hey, it's Saturday today, so I can park.
Yeah, I
Or
think we have.
time
Yeah,
it's, yeah. So, do you have any other answers?
we have one here for from Pauline Grace.
Mm-hmm.
She's suggesting. I think the time should be more emphasized on the 1 hour free park, no parking text, and siguro different colors for each.
Mm-hmm. All right. Yep. So, thank you for your suggestions, Pauline. Okay, so I'll show you the answer. But this is, again, this is just one way of solving it. There are many ways, and we can also test this and see if that would work or not. So this one is one of the suggestions to solve this so that in one look you can already see, hey, it's Saturday. What time is it? It's 4:30. Saturday 4:30. Okay, I can park for 1 hour. So there.
I think they should have this in Makati, in the many park, in the
Yeah,
many parking lots and yung mga street parking in Makati as well. This would be
yeah.
very helpful.
Yep. So all right. Let's go to the next one. So I just like to also talk about the value of good user experience. So if your company or organization or the product or service that you're trying to offer, you've built it around to have a good experience, then these are some of the benefits that you will get. So one is would be traffic views. If you have a website or if you have an application, that it'll be downloaded often. So, and then we also have return users. So they'll just keep coming back to your product or service because they find it useful, they find value in it. And then we also have your engagement in discussions. So if you built your product or service in a way that you are open to receive ratings, comments, feedback, then you can improve your service or product better. And then lastly, we have increased trust and sales. So of course, if people use your product, they trust you, and then they also tend to use it, whether you have a paid subscription or they would buy your item, or if you have a milk tea. So there. In terms of the organizational benefits, we also have here job satisfaction. People are satisfied because they are able to provide good service to other people, and then you're also able to save time because it's efficient. The process or the system that you've built is efficient, and then you as you improve, you would decrease the training and support costs. And then, of course, you will save money in terms of the IT or any technical that you need to support. So those are just some of the values of good user experience. So so we have here two scenarios. I think time check, it's 8:40 now. All right, so we have transaction based and subscription based. So transaction based, this is more of some examples here are Lazada, Shopee. So wherein we buy the product and then we go. Whereas the subscription base, we pay it on a monthly basis, on a yearly basis. So those are just different in terms of the offerings of the services. So for the customer experience, it drives more sales. And as for the subscription, is that they tend to they would stay or continuously subscribe to the offering or the service. All right, let's go to the next one. So we have here just to give you an idea of the return on investment. So if, for example, you've improved the the navigation on your website or the content or the information architecture, link labeling, you did all those things. The tendency is that you have a key performance indicator. So we have here, if you improve the purchasing process, then the tendency would be increase in sales, increase in conversion rate, so that you can measure the rate here on the right, if it's 87% or what, right? So in terms of, if you've improved the content, you'll get more traffic, more visitor counts, so more awareness for other people to about your product or service. So this is just an example of those, when you improve something, what is your indicator that you've actually improved that, and then the percentage. So in terms of the percentage, you will get this, of course, in terms of your sale, kung tumaas ba siya, or your analytics, or your engagement. So depending on what tool you also have, right? So let's go to the next. So this is just a simple case study. So of a one UX designer in a particular organization. Okay, so we have here a UX designer who solved the problem. So what he or she did is, um, the UX designer went to the customer support center managers and asked for the top 10 customer calls. And then based on the top 10 customer calls, pumili lang siya. He just chose one that he or she is going to solve. And then nag-partner siya with a developer, and then they tried to fix that. And then eventually, after fixing that, they were able to save 923,000 because of just fixing that problem. So um, this is just an illustration that one designer can, make improvements. Of course, sometimes there are challenges, but this I just like to give you an idea of how you can start and how you can start solving problems within our organization. All right, so let's go to the next one. So we'll go towards, we're moving towards the UX process now. So UX encompasses usefulness. It also involves, we've mentioned before, the user interface and then the usability. So in terms of usefulness, the question is, will customers use the product? Okay. Um, in the first place, you have to also ask, baka naman kasi they don't find value in it. Okay. The next one is the interface. Does your target market find that beautiful or interactive or appealing? So, and if your customers are old people or senior citizens, so the tendency for the design would be bigger text, more contrast on the colors, so things like that. But if your audience is like young people, so you tend to be more modern. And the last one for the usability is how easy will the people or their customers use the interface. All right, so we have another factors for the usability. So there are just 5 here in terms of the usability. Can I learn how to use it? Or do they need to have like undergo a training para they can use it? So it depends, no, on a product or a service. So for example, in terms of like the astronauts or the tech people working on that spaceship, um, SpaceX, no. So of course, I think they need to undergo certain trainings before they can use that tool, no. But for example, if it's just a mobile app, then probably like tooltips onboarding would be enough for you to use it. And then we have here efficiency. Am I able to do the task over time? Memorability is that can they can they remember it right away, or they have to go back and then try to do it again. So just be mindful on these five. So errors, people um, would commit errors. So just be sure that you're able to offer them an exit path or a cancel button so that they can, get they can recover from that error. And then lastly is the satisfaction. So these are more of like reviews, the star ratings, so things like that. And then I think later this afternoon, these roles were also mentioned, but I just also like to give you an idea of um, what are the different roles in UX. So we have your UX manager up until the front end development, and then I added specific tasks that they usually do. For some UX, we call them the unicorn designer. Sometimes a mix of researcher, UI, and then content strategist, or even IA and interaction design. So a combination of those skills. So it depends on the person or what the company is also looking for. So okay, I'll skip this now. I think this is pretty straightforward. But if you have questions, let me know or just comment. Um, and then let's go to the process. So we have here five different stages. This is this is like how I view it, but there are actually different UX processes. I think depending on the organization or the agency, how they would define this. Sometimes they combine the research and definition of users in one stage. So just to give you an idea of how it starts and how it ends. Um, so it's actually this one is actually a loop. So once you started with research, defining your users, and try to implement it in a wireframe or the flow and create high fidelity wireframes after that. Um, then you start to measure that, and then you go back to research again to improve it. So it's actually a loop. Yeah. All right. So let's go to the first one, the the UX research. Right. So here we started with asking questions because it's really very important in UX to ask questions. So why are we doing this? Who is the target market? Because it's really important that you align with your boss or your company or your team before you start working on a project. All right, so I have a question, another question here. Can you guys see it? So, what do you think this guy needs? And just feel free to comment your answers.
Yeah, I think he needs his mom.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Um,
For the guys who are still watching us, you can leave your comments. So there's no wrong answer here.
yes,
So
just feel free
yeah,
to share your ideas on
yeah.
what do you think this guy needs.
I think we have more people watching on YouTube tonight
Oh, okay.
than
All
Facebook.
right.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. Hi, guys, in YouTube. Any other
Okay, we have one guy here. Jet says he needs
shoes?
shoes.
Right, kasi wala siyang shoes. Or nandun yung shoes niya, hindi na nakikita. Okay. Any other answers?
Okay,
Naghihintay ako
so
ng medyo
yeah, we have
showbiz
one
answer eh.
showbiz. Wag showbiz. We have Roy here
Okay.
suggesting that the guy needs a garbage bag.
Garbage bag. Okay. I think he has a garbage bag on the left.
And this one is more
Phone.
controversial. Daryl says an intervention in life.
Wow.
Who
That's
doesn't,
deep.
diba? I think
That's
everybody
deep.
needs that.
All right. Phone. We have your Marvin saying that phone. He needs his phone. Probably he's looking for his phone. Tapos nagulo niya na yung kwarto niya.
Uh,
Do you have any
Storage
other?
box.
Yeah. Storage box. Yes.
And then from Adam, proper placement of things.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So, like what I mentioned before is we always start with asking questions. So maybe we can ask this guy, what do you need? What are you looking for? 'Di ba? So we can help him solve the problem because if we will just assume that this guy needs a shoe or a cell phone or a girlfriend even, then we might not be able to help our friend here. So first is ask question. Let's ask those customers. So interact with them. Right. So what do you need and how can I help you? And then after that, we can offer our help to this guy. Okay. So it's really just more of um, asking the right question, and because I think we have the tendency, even me, I have the tendency to like jump into to the solution right away. So it's good to step back and then see, um, wait, what's going on here? What's the situation? What's the scenario? Right. So let's go to the next. So UX without user research is not UX. So research or asking questions really very important so that we can solve the problem. And if we solve the wrong problem, it doesn't matter how well we solve it. So, all right. And then I think it's also very important to align with your members because maybe your boss or the CEO or the marketing team and other teams are not aligned. So this is very important because I've experienced this. Um, that sometimes we need to sit down, everyone in the team sit down and then just talk and discuss where are we going? Is this really a problem? What's your vision? Um, and what do you expect from us? So things like that. So still asking questions and aligning with the team. All right, so we go to the next one. After you've gathered your data, after you've defined the problem, then the next step would be like, who will be the person using this product or service? Okay, so some of the process or tools for under UX is also design thinking and design sprint. So just to give you, so these two topics are also um, it needs a separate talk to be able to discuss the design thinking. I think Luis also have this talk separately. So just to give you an idea about this two, design thinking is more of like it will teach you how to cut an onion. So for example, if you're creating a spaghetti as AJ Smart explained, so if you're going to create a or going to cook a spaghetti, design thinking is more of teaching you how to slice the onion, how to create the sauce, how to grate the cheese, so things like that. Whereas design sprint, it's more of the recipe. You already have a recipe. Okay, put this spaghetti in a bowl with water and then boil it and add oil this much. So it's really more of like a step by step on what you need to do. So it's more of the execution part. The design speed is more of the execution part. The design thing is the building blocks on the fundamentals. Okay. Next is how to do UX. So just keep in mind that I'm also guilty about this, that you are not the user even though you use the product, because that's just one way one perspective. So it's still important to get other perspective, especially the customers of the product or service. And then we have your persona. So these are not real people, but these are representations of the actual customers, probably based on data or analytics or also some research done previously. So what's their profile like? So there's like a formal way of doing the persona, or more of like general idea of the persona wherein it's not formal. So we have these two examples. I think we have 5 more minutes, but um, Louise, are we still okay with that time? Or are you guys still okay with the time so far?
Yeah, I think we can, man. I think people are holding on, and I think it's a very interesting topic. Then, and I think
Okay.
60 minutes is not really enough to cover, the
Yeah.
fundamentals of UX. Yeah,
All
so
right.
you can.
Okay. Sige. I'll just proceed. So just let me know if I'm going too fast or slow, or you need to go to the next one. Right. Okay. So we have here just an illustration of the journey. So we have the goal of the user, the task flow, workflow, and user flow. So different teams or different people apply this. Sometimes they would skip some steps or process, but it's really more of solving that problem. Sometimes this one um, is needed to skip. So for example, if the team already have a workflow, then you can proceed with the user flow na. So, ayun. All right. So this is just an example of a customer journey. This is very detailed just to give you an idea of the total interaction that we try to map out so that we can get an idea of how this will be implemented. I think this is very, very useful for the government, especially at this time on implementing a certain rule, or how will they um, implement the GCQ, something like that. So hopefully somebody who can apply this so that more people hindi mahirapan in terms of their commute. Yan. So we have here, this is categorized into three area. So we have the first level, which is the first row. That's the image on the top. This is called the lens, or the actor in the scenario. And then the body is more of the experience in terms of what they're doing, what they're thinking or feeling. And then at the bottom, we have your insights on how we're able to address those pain points or happy moments. No. So yeah, this is just an example of the customer journey. Okay, so after you've done that, you proceed with the high fidelity, and then design systems are really very helpful in terms of having consistency in terms of the colors of your design and your iconography. So let's go to the next one. So this is the stage wherein you test the solution that you've come up with, just to see whether you missed anything, or you can still improve on the usability. So this is more of the role of a UX researcher, but any UX designer can also do usability tests. And some product owners also observe. So basically, it's creating a prototype and then letting people use that product or service in a in a defined setting or scenario. So I've attached the links so you can also check those, and try to learn about this. Is very important, the usability test, so that you know how will they use it, and what would they click on, what they're thinking process would be. So yeah. All right, so let's go to the next one. So fixing a problem after coding cost up 100 times more than resolving it prior to coding, so test early. So um, it's really very important to not skip testing, especially before you launch a product or service, just to see whether you've missed out anything. Because one button or one cancel you forgot to put a cancel or purchase button, it disrupts the interaction already of your product or service and how people can buy that. So, all right. And then next would be iteration. So, iteration is more of like you've done the usability test, you've identified na there's a problem with the prototype, and then you try to solve it and then you test it again. So we have here the quantitative and the qualitative research. Quantitative tells you what um, so quantitative it just tells you how many clicks, how many scrolls, what people are clicking, but you don't know the why behind it. So it's really just more of data. So qualitative research is the interviews, the usability test, so that you get to know their mental models. Okay. Next is so this is example of from wireframe to high fidelity. Okay. And then measure. So you measure, you see how people are using it. You try to set up a Google Analytics or any tools that you want to use so that you can measure the experience. Yep. So these are just examples of those. So you can see here if what are the genders in terms of people using your product. Do you have more female or more male customers? So what age group? So let's go to the maturity models. Okay, so in terms of maturity model, I listed here the different maturity models from different authors. So I have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have here 5. They have different levels kasi, but actually it's the same. It's actually really the same. So what we want is so if in your organization UX is not yet recognized, then you are still on the first level. And then, but if UX starts to emerge, that's on the second level. And then so forth and so on. So the last would be, the ideal would be is that UX is institutionalized or it's already embedded in the process. It's done routinely. It's supported by the CEO, by the managers, and everybody is doing it. So that's the goal. That's the ideal um, scenario. So if, for example, you're just still here, what you want to do is to go from there to there. So just um, go to the next level. How will you be able to do that is to conduct workshops or conduct talks, do brown bag sessions with other teams, encourage, educate more people to do UX, and eventually I hope that the organization will support you. So especially if you've already improving some of the items and that you can present it to the CEO or to the managers that hey, we've improved this in 2 weeks or 2 months and this is the result, so why not do it more often or embed it in our process. All right, so we have here the long-term goal is for the UX to be embedded in the organization. Okay, so this is the common illustration in terms of UX in an organization, that UX is in the center. But I guess for me, this is okay. But in reality, there are a lot bigger challenges that the UX community or group or designer is facing. So I think I got an idea from a talk of Paul Adams. So he's from Intercom, and this is what he mentioned, that UX is actually outside, and these are the different departments in an organization, and the leadership is really very important in an organization in terms of where this UX sits. So um, basically, um, if the leaders in an organization will not support UX, or at least have an understanding of user experience, it's really very critical because in an organization, UX is a part of all those departments. For example, in sales, that's where you get the voice of the prospective customer, and also the support. So those are actually gold mines on how you can improve the product or service. And then the marketing, um, it needs to align with the overall presentation on what features you need to market, or um, who do you want to target. So also we have the technical side of things, from the PM to the analytics. So these are all very important in terms of the experience. So everybody plays a role. So everybody needs to also do their part, contribute, and really discuss what's going on and have those data shared with each department, so that you know everybody is aligned, and that it'll be easier for you to solve the problem or the challenges that you are facing in an organization. Okay, so it takes everyone to build a great product. It's not just the UX role. It's the also the role of the customer support, the marketing, analytics team. So it's everybody should be involved. All right, so I will skip this since this is just a talk. Why didn't it skip? All right. So I guess in terms of the summary, I'll just go to we just nag-exceed lang tayo ng few minutes. So, go quickly to the summary. So, ang dami kong sinabi. But I just want you to remember three things, actually. First one is, ask the right questions. So, if you solve the wrong problem, it doesn't matter how well you solve it. So, solve the right problem. Okay? Next is, do your research. It's going to be challenging at first, but that research is going to be really helpful when you're starting to build the product. And then lastly, involve everyone to engage with anybody, share, educate, and then just be creative in terms of sharing what you've learned, and then try to invite speakers or do activities like involve Lego or games or gamify the process, so that people would be attracted to um, the process. And also um, you have to engage with all the team as well, kasi para you get to know their perspective, not just yours. So that's it. And I'd like to end with Google. So this is Google way back 1999. Um, and this is Google now, and they actually solved a very important problem, which is searching for a product or a need. So some added icons there, but mainly the thing that they solve is really the searching part. So hopefully we're able to also do this like what Google did to solve a problem, and that it would still be useful after 10, 20 years or so. It would stay and the people would use it. So that's it. That's the end of the session. Hopefully you've
Yeah.
learned something new.
Thank you so much, Raina. I think that was very informative and very helpful
Mhm.
for those who are exploring a career in UX, or for because most of our for the people who registered to this event,
Mhm.
most of them are learning a new skill, because of the lockdown, nga, and a lot of them are also students. who are still, thinking about what career to pursue,
Mhm.
once they graduate. So this is very helpful. And just reminder to everyone, this won't be the last that we'll see of Rain. Definitely we'll see Rain in our future sessions, right?
Yes.
uh so you go to one of our workshops or our more in-depth talk, because I think it's valuable for people to know the journey that you had to go through, to find that right spot where you are in right now. Because
Mhm.
it's really, especially in tech, there's a lot of opportunities out there, and a lot of organizations are offering, good compensation. But I think it's more than that. I think
Yep.
a lot of students, a lot of professionals need to understand that it's definitely more than just a compensation package.
Yep.
Okay.
And I also like to mention some of the people we, that helped me get to where I am right now is really the organization, UXPH, Ellie, and the rest of the gang. So um yeah, don't go through it alone. Join a community, engage, get help, ask for a mentor, and then just ask questions there, and you'll learn. People there are really very helpful naman if you ask questions there. So yun. So if you have any questions, I think we still have time.
Yeah, so for those of you guys who still have questions, you can use the comment section, and I will have. I'll really need to build on that because UXPH also helped us a lot in reaching out to a lot of people, and we've hosted a few of their events in the office in Makati, and I have witnessed firsthand how collaborative the community is.
Mhm.
And if
Yep.
you, yeah, by simply joining the group on Facebook, you will get a lot of feedback, insights from tenured professionals in the field of UX. So we hope to also get speakers from UXPH and other UX organizations in our sessions this July, which will be further into development. And for
Mhm.
you guys who would like to refer your friends as well into to listen and watch our online sessions, and then please tag them to this video, and you can also share the video to your newsfeed. Yeah, that will definitely help a lot. So I think we will just reserve the questions after this event. You can always message us on our Facebook page, and we will also send you the session packs. So for those who registered to this event, I have your email. I'll send you the session pack, and you can send in your questions there, and we will try to get back to you as soon as possible with the answer.
Okay,
Okay. Yep.
so I also have a link to the survey.
Mhm.
So if you have any feedback or comments, it will be
Okay.
helpful for me as well to improve on the topics or to be more clear or add certain um, areas or sections. So just feel free to also fill that up, but that's not a requirement.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, so I will leave the link in the comment section as well, and also
Mhm.
add it to the description of the video. So I think a lot of people will also be rewatching this content on YouTube and Facebook, so they'll see that. And if you have any feedback, that will definitely be very valuable to Rain, not only to Rain but also for
Yes.
myself and for TechPH.
Yeah. Share
In
it.
yeah, in making sure that we're able to provide you with the content that you really want. Wag
Yep.
lang siguro don't ask us to do TikTok because we're not I'm not physically prepared for that. Pero I think Rain, we have one question here. Siguro there's time to answer this. So this
Mhm.
is from Riel.
Okay.
Uh,
Naku, si Riel.
do you know her?
Wait, baka ibang Riel pala 'to.
So there, I am showing it on the screen, but the question is, when is the right time to use usability testing? Since
Then is
there would be some companies who has limited resources for UT, what are the
mhm.
things to consider before conducting one? Thank you.
Alright. So, um, if you have limited time or limited budget, you can do guerrilla usability test. So, before I would just go to a coffee shop or a store of your company or a branch of your company, and then um, talk to them, do interviews, and then list all those questions that you and your team have, or if you have any debates. So it'd be good to still do research, um, and then just a lot to probably depends on your in your time, no. So the earlier the better. The earlier the better. If you are already in the wireframe stage, then that's okay. You can just draw box, and then because I think people are visual, so you can just um, try to create, like, if that's going to be a mobile app, then just try to create a rectangle and then put the boxes there. If that's just an image, how would you the important thing is that to get the perspective of the customer. So yeah, do it as early as possible. And then if you can do like 3 to 5, I think that's good enough for a guerrilla research. But if you can do more, that's also better. So did I answer the question? Is that enough?
Okay. I think that basically covers everything, and kasi it may seem like it's very expensive to do a usability test.
Mm, yeah.
Pero of course there are more economical ways to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Siguro it's just really a matter of how creative you are and how connected you are and how extroverted you are in approaching people and trying even like a set of wireframes or mga cutout siguro if you're
Yeah.
still at that stage, right?
One also tip is that you can join Facebook groups and ask questions there, or tweet or ask questions in your post or your friends na you think that belongs to that group, na could be potential customers. So from there, you can get insights na from different people.
Yeah, and I think I think everyone in UXPH, for example, if you use the group to test whatever you're creating,
Mhm.
they'll be very constructive in giving you feedback.
Yeah.
Don't worry about mga bashers and trolls who will put you down. I think we have one more question here from Marvin Ostaco. When and how we tell that we need qualitative qualitative or quantitative research on a certain project slash product.
Yeah. Wait lang ah, inom lang ako water.
Medyo nabulol ako dun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when and how we tell that we need qualitative or quantitative research. So it depends on the problem that you're trying to solve. For example, in terms of the analytics, there's a page there that exists um, but doesn't have any clicks or views. So you can look at why don't why people don't click on this page. This is very important in terms of the overall process, or these are the values of the product that you're trying to sell. So from there, you can see na we need to do qualitative. We need to ask people, or create a scenario wherein they need to be able to go through that. And then if they skip that part, then there's really a problem with the overall process. So you can look at, maybe the link to that page doesn't work, or maybe it's a skip or optional, or it's not visually appealing or visually noticeable in the page. So that from there, you can improve na on what's the best solution for that. And then if you fix that, then people would start to read on the value of your product or service. Then probably you'll get more sales or increase your sales. So you have to know the problem. First is you have to know the problem that you're trying to solve. Second is do check on the current status of your analytics, your quantitative, and then check if you can find the answer in the qualitative. If not, you have to do your research to be able to figure out why this is a problem. Does that make sense? Or yep. So this is a simple answer to the question. Thank
Yeah,
you,
I think
Mark.
that covers that. And so, if you guys have any more questions, again, you can just I think you can leave the comments here, and we'll just go back to it siguro by Monday, and we'll try to answer everyone's question as soon as possible. And then earlier, Rain mentioned about design thinking. So recruitday.com, um, the host of this event has this event called Online Self-Paced Learning Introduction to Design Thinking. So what you can do is just let me just get
Mhm.
rid of the
I'll stop sharing.
yeah the QR code,
Yep.
and I will provide the link din naman later. So in the comment section, so you can also go to that, and you can sign up to that, and then you'll get the details after you signed up. Or if you want to learn more about the courses that recruitday.com is offering, you can just go to recruitday.com/bootcamp. So that's the website. So I think that covers everything. Do we still have any more questions? Let me just see. Okay, we don't have any more. So guys, thank you so much for spending your night with us. So Rain, thank you so much for sharing your insights, experience, and knowledge on UX. So that was
Yep.
very helpful. And a reminder to everyone, July is further into development. So that's the theme for TechPH. So we will invite leading practitioners in the Philippines to help us in our exploration into the world of UX design, because I think there's really a lot more to learn, and this will serve as your like reference guide, your jumping point to further learn UX. Because I think there's a lot of resources out there, um, free courses. If you go to YouTube, there's a lot of content about UX, but nothing beats hearing it from a local Filipino practitioner, because you're able to relate to it. And also part of the sessions is that we we ask the speakers to share their journey and the challenges that they face. Because I think most Filipino developers and designers will have the same or similar experiences. Okay, so yeah, that's all we have for tonight. Thank you so much again, Rain. And do you have anything else to say to everyone?
Thank you, guys. Stay safe.
Yeah, stay safe, guys, and remember to always, wash your hands. And DOH is not saying this, but wash your feet as well.
All
Okay, bye
right. Bye.
bye.